Welcome to the Ugandan capital Kampala for highlights of the 2017 World Cross Country Championships. Some of the best athletes in the world gather for one of athletics' great traditional events at the climax of the cross-country season. This year the championships return to the spiritual home of distance running, East Africa. Uganda's East African neighbours, Kenya and Ethiopia, are renowned for producing world-class distance runners, and when it comes to cross-country, they are almost untouchable.
Ngugi regains the world title. And Tergat comes away, an imposing figure, dominant, and that is an all-time record. Wami of Ethiopia takes the gold.
These two nations are utterly dominant. Since 1973, they've won more than half of all available medals between them. That's 559 if you count them.
Kenenisa Bekele wins a record-breaking 6 World Cross Country titles. Development, one of the greatest distance runners that women's athletics has ever seen.
So can the Ugandans rise to the occasion on their home turf, or will we see yet more titles for Ethiopia and Kenya today?
The world cross-country champion, it's gold for Kenya.
Well, here at the Kololo Independence Grounds, we've got 5 races with both individual and team medals up for grabs. The under-20 women and men run the shorter distances of 6 and 8 kilometres respectively, and the senior races. So where they go, the senior women heading off on this extended course for the first time in terms of distance, just short of 10 kilometres. Over 100 competitors from 31 different countries, including Great Britain, and the usual stampede at the beginning, and already it's just starting to settle down a little bit. These good conditions are providing great opportunity for the track runners to really show what they can do against the better cross-country exponents. So the fact that this race is over the longer distance, not a distance that, you know, they're not going to be frightened about the distance here at all, but it just changes the dynamic a little bit of the race. And in this race, the defending champion Agnes Tirop already well to the fore. We've got Olympic champions in here, Faith Kipyegon, the Olympic 1500 metre champion. We've got Ruth Chebet running for Bahrain, former Kenyan, the Olympic 3000 metre steeplechase champion and indeed world record holder as well. And as ever, a strong Ethiopian team to try and take the title, both individually and in terms of the team race. Great Britain, as I said, 4 competitors, led by Claire Duck, the British team captain here, Emily Hosker-Thornhill, Rebecca Murray and Louise Small. And they'll be hoping that certainly all 4 of them can run well enough to give the, you know, raise the team up the rankings. 5 laps of this twisty-turny course. Obstacles not really providing too much of a challenge to any of the athletes really. Just need to watch your feet when you're in a bit of a crowd there, but apart from that, nothing too much to worry about. First of the massive mountains on this course here. Up and over they go. That's like the Hickstead Hill. Remember the Hickstead Hill? You too young for that? Show jumping on grandstand on a Saturday afternoon at Hickstead. There used to be a little mound and yeah, never mind. Okay, older viewers will know what I'm talking about. Anyone else, go and Google it or something.
But what it might have done is just break up the race a little bit, because of all of the races so far today, this is certainly the most bunched together in the beginning, maybe because they have increased the distance a little bit and the ladies are taking a little bit of time to settle over this first lap before they really start racing. What it does mean is that when they do come around to those logs, that it will be more difficult for the runners in the pack, because they obviously won't see them coming, so they will have to have remembered where they're placed and anticipate and react fairly quickly, so we don't have any fallers over that. But so far the hills, or bumps as we're calling them, not really having much impact on this race and not really breaking it up very much.
Well, it's already stretching out a little bit, Paula. We were saying there was a big group there in that first lap. You know, people can get really overexcited, and you start to drop off the group, and little gaps start to appear. A little bit of pace being applied. There's Chebet just wants to stay close. This lead group, which is comprising mainly of Kenyans, only Teferi and Ruth Chebet in that group, who's not a Kenyan. Teferi, the only Ethiopian still going with this. That's why Kenya in that, you see those team standings going through. That was after 2 laps, very much to the fore, and all of a sudden now some gaps starting to appear even amongst the Kenyan contingent. And we were looking for the defending champion, who's, well, we thought might be struggling a little bit, and appears to be doing so, just not going with this little bit of a pickup of pace. And Kipyegon is to the back, she's not going to go at the front, allowing her 2 lesser known teammates push on here. Just a quick update on the British contingent after 2 laps. They were being led indeed by Louise Small, who'd moved up to 54th place. It kind of, you know, it's a different tactic to what we've seen from the Americans, who've gone out hard and tried and maintain. British athletes were 80th after the first lap. So Louise Small now 54th, being chased Rebecca Murray and Claire Duck in 60th and 61st behind her.
Yeah, she's got quite a bit of tape around her knee there, Tirop, and I'm wondering if she is carrying a little bit of an injury. She was the youngest ever senior women's champion at only just 19 when she won 2 years ago in China, so she would have been hoping to come here and figure highly. Had been racing reasonably well so far this year, but doesn't look certainly able to compete with these 4 teammates away and running very, very strongly.
Kipyegon is there, Noza Aprot is there, but actually I said Kipyegon is there, all of a sudden she's not there. 5 meters adrift. Just this pace that these 2 are applying at the front to the lesser known, certainly Cheptai, a little better known than the youngster, but these 3 pulling away from Kipyegon. Chalanga trying to keep the home challenge going. So it's getting tough out there now.
Kenyan victory means a lot to these girls at the World Cross Country. To be able to go back home and say that you won the World Cross Country, it's a big thing for them. So each one of these 3 girls here will want to come away from this with the victory. And Faith Kipyegon isn't quite out of this yet. I mean, the gap is growing, but she's not falling back very, very fast. And if one of these were to tire, which can happen, especially the way we've talked about that the Kenyan athletes can race, it's very feasible that at least one of these can tire and drift back. Probably not all 3 of them though, and I think now Faith Kipyegon is going to have a long run into home, and she's going to have to really keep concentrating, keep working hard, as is Alice Aprot, who doesn't look as comfortable as the 2 in front of her. Certainly her pedigree is stronger, and you would expect her to be the one really turning the screw and turning this into a hard run race.
These 3 certainly look to have it between them, don't the Faith Kipyegon further back with a teammate, just watching these 3 continuing to move away. Kenyan 1, 2, 3, a clean sweep. That's what we're heading for here. In fact, Kenyan 1 to 5 at the moment, and Kipyegon looks tired. And that's my point. About it doesn't matter how good and how fit you are, when psychologically in cross country, it goes, then goodness me, you can end up losing 20 places on the last lap. So the last lap, 3 Kenyans. The 4th placer at the Olympic Games in the 10,000 metres, the one who looks to be struggling just at the moment, Alice Aprot, or Nawawuna as she has on her number. And then the Kenyan cross-country champion, Irene Cheptai, in 2nd place, just sitting behind a teammate, unbeaten in 2017 in cross-country, but leading is the youngster, Lilian Rangeruk. The real surprise here, bigger names in the Kenyan team. Faith Kipyegon really struggling now, and the defending champion, Agnes Tirop, nowhere to be seen. It's about these 3, no challenge from Ethiopia at all, and they're on the last lap and heading for a Kenyan clean sweep. It's hard to really pick one out from those 3. You keep looking at Aprot thinking, she looks a bit tired as we watch the others coming through here, but lapping runners now. You watch her up this hill here. Struggle. She just doesn't get up the hills, and there's a couple of them, and then suddenly the gap appears. She works herself back, and then the next hill comes and she loses it again. That's soul destroying.
It is, and it's also giving a mental advantage to these two who are able to work together. They sensed that she struggled up that hill, and they picked it up a little bit then on the flat, but she's also looking very gingerly in the way that she goes down the hill. So not only is she losing ground up the hills, but in the bump where they have to go up and over, she loses more ground because she really goes very gingerly down the hill, where in contrast to Cheptai and Ringeruk, who really just let themselves go and almost float down that hill. And that is a cross-country technique, and one that you would expect April to have a little bit better. So I don't know whether she's just feeling something as she goes down those hills.
Well, about halfway around this last lap, maybe a kilometre, maybe a little bit less to go here, but all of a sudden the Kenyan champion of 2017 is now attempting to become the world champion here, and immediately Aprot, I say immediately, perhaps a little belatedly, moves past her teammate to try and give chase, but there's only one person looking strong at the moment. There's still plenty of distance to go, but with two of those hills to come as well, you just suspect that Aprot's going to lose even more ground on her teammate. She had a great year in 2016, Cheptai, personal bests at 10,000 metres and at 5,000 metres. Not as quick as so many of her teammates on the track, but when you're an improving athlete and your track times come down, then you come onto the area where you think, well, this is where I'm strongest cross-country. Carry that confidence into the winter. She obviously has, and now she's trying hard to get a winning gap between her and her teammate, but she's not given this up. Aprot, fourth in Rio, missed out on a medal there. She's heading for a medal here, but she will lose ground here. Look at Cheptai. Paula sprints up that, again takes another 3-4 metres out of her teammate.
Yeah, she just looks so much more comfortable, and then she comes off the hill and maintains that momentum on the flat and uses that to drive away still further.
Surely Cheptai, the Kenyan champion, has done enough now. She hasn't looked behind, eyes forward, concentrating on the closing stages, the last couple of 100 metres here. Let's make sure, she needs to make sure she takes the finisher's funnel, and the Kenyan flag alongside her will be something she'll be carrying in a few seconds time, because the finish line will be in sight when she comes around the last bend. She's got about a 3-4 second advantage over her teammate. She's not going to close that now. It's going to be gold medal for Irene Cheptai, unbeaten in 2017 over cross country, and she's carried that form to the most important race and the most important win of her career. Cheptai of Kenya becomes the world cross country champion. Gold to her. Silver goes to Alice Aprot in second place, and then the clean sweep for Kenya completed as the youngster crosses the line. The great performance from Lilian Ringeruk to take the bronze medal. Well, Cheptai is completely out there, isn't she? She is rewarded with the gold medal and setting those Kenyan flags flying by being so strong on that last lap there. She's paid for it a little bit. Big sprint finish in the end. Chepkemo and Tirop, they're just looking for Faith Kipyegon. A bit of a struggle for her out there. So in minor places now, it's Kipyegon, the likes of Chebet, Teferi and others just haven't really been able to challenge the big names really. And well, she's struggling. They're all struggling a little bit. Tough. In fact, it was Algira who came in ahead of Teferi's, the first of the Ethiopians. So Kenya, of course, will win the team race. Very much their day in the women's senior race. Individual gold and team gold for Kenya. So the winner of the gold medal, Irene Cheptai of Kenya. Alice Aprot taking the silver medal. And the 19-year-old Lilian Ringeruk, the bronze, making it a Kenyan clean sweep. Really good performance from the Kenyans. Ethiopians not really able to muster much of a challenge. Complete Kenyan dominance in the women's senior race. So you can see there, Louise Small, 37th. Rebecca Murray not too far behind, about 13 seconds behind her. 41st place.